Welcome to Work is Weird Now. Today's guest is Berggren. He is a Swedish senior project and production professional, community builder, and advocate for location independent living, currently based in Bulgaria. He's here to talk to us today about our core question: what if where you live matters more than what you do? So, welcome, Chris.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So this is a really, really great topic we've been wanting to get into for some time. So just to open the pod, you were living this way in the mid-90s, decades before anybody called it a digital nomad lifestyle. When did it first dawn on you that you were living differently to almost everyone around you?
That was like in the middle of the 90s.
Hmm.
I'm happy that I have been doing this for so long now.
And have you lived lots of places, Chris, or have you been in Bulgaria the whole time?
No. I just came down here 2 years ago. I have a long-term visa here in Bulgaria for 5 years, and I actually retired. But with my experience and coming down to Bulgaria, people find out things about me here and there, and I have a girlfriend or a journalist, and it spreads, and all of a sudden people starts to call me, and now I'm back, but I am in Bulgaria doing the same thing that I did in Sweden, but I feel more at home here than I did in Sweden.
Yeah, why is that? Curious. What makes it feel like home for you?
I daily try to figure that out, but I think it's most what I'm telling my friends around me here in Bulgaria is that it feels like I have come back in time like 30 years from the perfect Sweden, you know? Everything is perfect in Sweden. And when it's perfect, it dies in a way. But here is like more chaos. Things happen. And I like that because things evolve. But at the same time, I feel like I'm 30 years ahead,
Right.
but going back and forth in time, more or less. I know things that they don't know.
Yeah.
Here, I like it. It lives. It's
Yeah.
more alive here.
Uh, How does that impact your work? How does that feeling that you have about the place bleed into what you do?
I see people in Sweden. We have all these beautiful, perfect parks, but there is no people out there. An architect draws pictures with people on the squares, but there is no people on the squares when you look at it in real time. But here it's full of people in the parks, families together, they are playing chess. It's alive, and I love that.
Hmm. It's so interesting, because I don't think about this often, but my mother's Australian, my dad's British, and I grew up in America. And I had a great childhood there. I grew up in the 80s. It was a very prosperous, wonderful time to be growing up in America. But I always felt like it wasn't my place. I always knew I would live somewhere else. And then when I got to be an adult, I moved to the UK. And this feels much more like my home and always has. And I think there is something about us as individuals and our personalities and what actually suits us best. And that isn't necessarily the place that we were born and raised. Do you agree with that? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah, as a person, you don't choose where you are born, but
Yeah.
it might not be your place in the
Hmm.
end.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, have you lived elsewhere? Have you been a digital nomad effectively for most
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
career?
yeah. I had like I think it was 2013. I moved on to live on a sailboat for 6 years.
Wow.
That was a childhood dream that I had, and I really wanted to experience that. At the same time, I was in like a dark place in life, depression kind of thing. I had a heart surgery and they found like dark spots on my lungs and everything. So I wasn't in a good place. But I think that to live inside the inside of the boat, it was my 4 square meters floor area. That's not much. And I decided to become a minimalist. Everything happened at once. I found out that the security in that was that no matter where I am, security is always inside of me. not in the things around me or the walls or anything. It's inside of me. So that's why I felt when I moved from the boat and ashore again, I had learned so much about myself to be in this boat. To answer your question, yeah, I have traveled a lot, lived in buses, tour buses, hotel rooms, things like that. And we just go around, but at the same time, I always feel secure wherever I am because it's inside of me.
Yes, of course. So I think one of the other things I'm interested in is you put on events for a living, right? That's what you do. And so that's obviously quite a creative process. Have you felt like the places that you've lived in and been in and worked in have actually really impacted that creative process for you, or how you've thought about those events? Can you look at the course of your career and say that you were doing and producing different things because of the consequence of where you were living at the time and how that was affecting your mindset?
Yeah, especially now. I have recently started a company with my girlfriend, and I'm working in another culture so much, and I'm quite happy that I am in that culture now. It could look like chaos for people from the outside, but I have been here for 2 years now and I know about chaos because chaos has been my whole life. So I understand it more, maybe. But yeah, I think the places affects you when you
Mm,
have time to go outside and walk around in towns and visit and meet people, of course.
mm. Yeah.
The digital bubble, so to say, it's an international community. Most of the people, I will say all of the people are speaking English, so we can communicate with each other no matter where we come from. That is a good thing and quite important thing. But it's also no digital nomad is on a holiday. We are not on a vacation. Everybody is looking for the next gig, so to say.
Mm.
So everybody is hustling a lot to find the next gig.
Right.
Alice and I both really smiled then because I recently stepped out into like consultancy or freelance, out of the full-time paid corporate world. And so many people have said to me and gone, "Oh my God, that must be amazing that you can go to the gym whenever you want. You can go to the coffee shop. Do you just do you work in a coffee shop and do Pilates at like 10 a.m.?" Like there's this weird perception that you know, you're just sitting there like living
Yeah,
this Instagram versus reality fake lifestyle. And I imagine that it must be very much the same for the digital nomad world, that there's a perception of it, whereas there is clearly a reality of it, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean that there is no secret that there is a lot of digital nomads who goes back home because it was like more like a social media dream. They didn't
Mm,
understand the reality of it's easy to be a digital nomad, but you also had to be an entrepreneur.
Mm,
mm.
And to be an entrepreneur is like 24/7.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It never stops. It never ends. So
Mm,
Mm.
you have to be. It has to be on every second, every hour.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not all laptops on the beach.
No, no,
No.
no, no, definitely not. But with that said, you can also, as I did on the boat, decide that I don't use the computer until 9 o'clock. I just check my mail at one point per day.
Mhm.
And I don't answer mail right away. You can start to doing things just to get order instead of always be connected.
Mm.
Right. Yeah, you have to be quite boundaried, I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah,
And you
Yeah.
said in our discovery call that you'd wish you'd understood the lifestyle earlier.
yeah.
Um, do you know now that you'd wish you'd known back then?
Of course, it's easy to say that now with all my experience, of course, but I really, as I said, tell my kids to travel, experience other cultures, and stay in Europe. Be here, go here and there. I know a couple of words in Bulgarian, but I speak English, and everybody speaks English back. especially young. But I wish I traveled when I was younger more. But today, and today it's easy.
You said something about you become something else when you leave your own country. So what actually do you think changes in a person when they stop living in one place?
I was in the early 2000. I was on a plane from Bali to Sweden, back to Sweden, and I met this Swedish guy who told me about he had sold everything, moved to Kuala Lumpur, and with 2 kids and his wife, and what they did there was to connect to the Swedish church. And when it comes to different countries church in abroad, they become a hub, not because you're Christian or something like that. It's more like meeting people, because we want that. I see that every time I am in my second space in Bansko, there is so many British people there, and I can see that we need to be connected with, Brits has its own. We need that kind of bread and that kind of butter and that kind of bacon and things like that. And so do I as a Swede. But we meet up because traditions from our country. And when we are meeting up like that abroad, we are not meeting up because I am a CEO of that company or I am a specialist in that field or anything. We are meeting up because we connect, because we have left something. And that opens up doors. This Swedish guy, he all of a sudden in a meeting at this church, he got a question from a guy. Do you know somebody who knows anything about decorating an office? And he was just like, yeah, my wife maybe, because she has some education. So they introduced everything. And he was the CEO of a bank for all Asia. And now she's the head boss of all the office in Asia for decorate all the offices. You become something else. It's like, I don't know if we are a special species who dare to travel and dare to step up and, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah, I mean, what it sounds like, it's very affirming of your own skills and your own capabilities, right? I think there's often a lot of fear or trepidation about stepping out into the unknown, and actually doing that really tells you, the feedback you get, if you can make success of it, is that actually you are capable of this transformation, this adaptation, this, being able to live outside of your comfort zone effectively. Is that what you've found?
Yeah. Absolutely, and we couldn't connect, as I said, not because we are something. We are, because we are not the CEO of a company. We are not. We are, first and foremost, we are persons. And
Yeah.
at the office, we have to like each other or love each other, But here we connect because that's a good guy. He talks good about things, and you hear them talk about other things than company structure or this statistic or this economic thing. And then we are talking about other things. I have friends that are from different places of Europe, and they are just ordinary people, like really ordinary people. But some of them have been so successful. And now they can travel with the families here and there and become like this no one. And they like to be that. They like to be nobody. And I can feel that too. And I don't have to go up there and be somebody. I am somebody, but I don't have to prove myself anymore.
Yeah. You're somebody because you're a human, right? I mean, back to your point, that's what there's this collective humanity, and that's where you meet.
Yeah, exactly.
You said a word in there, success and be successful. Has becoming a digital nomad or this way of working, this lifestyle for you, changed what success means to you?
Yeah. I don't care about success anymore. It's not what you are saying, it's the outcome of what you are saying that matters, always. Am I successful? For myself, I am. And probably my friends back in Sweden thinks that I'm crazy. But I wasn't ready to stop living my life. Even if I,
Mm.
like, in my age, everybody tells me, oh, you can't do that. So this is I think that I am successful for myself, and I'm happy for myself.
And that, like, if you're happy, that's success, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
success has got to be, well, it can be you've got to look at success from, is it from the eyes of yourself or from the eyes of someone else? Is it, I think that's something we all have to get over, right?
yeah,
I had a real career moment a couple of years ago where was on paper, I was qualified for a role that I was applying for, but they wouldn't see me because I didn't have a director in my title, even though I couldn't report any higher. And it
yeah,
really made me reframe that success bit, because when I was younger, I wanted to be a director because that was what it was, all the exposure around me. And it's just so, I don't see that as my personal measure of success anymore. It's so changed. And I think that is such a big shift in everybody's personal journey.
yeah.
Do you know when you first felt that moment for you?
I have always been odd, I think. I have always choose like other path in life. Started to play drums when I was 6 years old. I played drums for like until I was 35. I was a professional rock and roll drummer. So I never chose the way that the other people choose. My friends, my classmates, they were doing other stuff and they followed the road that you should follow. But I don't think they have much to talk about. And in the same way, that has been a issue for me when I have been working as I have been doing my whole life. I couldn't connect to people because they were doing the ordinary stuff. They were stuck in the hamster wheel, so to say. And there I come like I was out in the war, so to say, and explosions and everything, and touring and concerts and festivals, events, meeting people high and low. And then I come back home and then I go to a dinner with friends. And sometimes I lied about, because everybody asking, yeah, Chris, what are you doing in life? What do you do for a living? And sometimes I just lied, not for my sake, for their sake, because sometimes people could think that I was lying about my life, what I was doing. And I didn't want the dinner to end up in a bad vibe. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird how that is.
So this sounds great. And I think in our discovery call, you talked about how you've never felt freer in your life. And I think what the picture you're painting sounds really appealing to me. But what have you lost as a result of living this way, if anything?
Nothing,
It really
absolutely
is that
nothing.
good.
Yeah, but you have to build it on your own terms.
Hmm.
It has to be you. It's like when people are telling you that, Alice, you are like that. It's so typical Alice. It's
Hmm.
you. And then you start to think about it, but that's not me. That's not typical me. The only one who knows what is typical you is you.
Mm.
And we are trying to fit in as much as we can into the roles that people are giving us, not who we are. When it comes to jobs and things like that, they say, oh, Chris, you're so good to do this, to do that, and just to get acknowledged for something, anything. But you know that you are not good at that. But then you say yes to the job or whatever, and then you fail. And that's how I feel that I did that, definitely. But I learn now I'm saying no to so many things. It reminds me I never say yes right away. Before I did that every day, but now I have to think about it. And it's not because you are telling me that I am good at something. It's because I know that I am good to do this.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, we are pleased you said yes to doing the podcast.
Yeah, because this is fun. I love this. And try to understand as much as you can. And not be that afraid. You be cautious,
Mm.
but not afraid.
I think what it all points to, though, is the potential being even greater than before of people being able to live like this and actually being able to decouple where they live from the work that they do. But I want to come back to a point that you made earlier around this idea that we still, I assume you'd agree with this, we still need community. We still need community of human beings in order to feel quote unquote at home in a place. I know you do quite a lot of work here. What does that community need to look like in order for it to feel like something that can sustain you no matter where you live?
Yeah, we are living in Sofia, and we live in this other community in Bansko that is 16 miles south of Sofia. And that is like an international hub, really, for digital nomads. And now the Digital Nomad Fest is coming up next week, and it comes like 1,000 people there, and they meet up, and then they split up around the world. And they build communities like this all over, and they meet up in Bali or in Vietnam or in Albania, and they build like a really digital community. And then nowadays we have like this older generation, the first generation of digital nomads who has met their partner, got kids, and now they understand, yeah, we can't travel as we did.
Mm.
But which of all these places did we feel that we want to live in and raise our kids? Because we all grow up and it comes to that end where we want to have kids and everything. So in Bansko, there is lots of people buying apartments, houses and things like that now that they stop. But they go to the co-working area, the co-working office, still meeting up with digital nomads because it's a lifestyle. And there is the community in that. So it starts to grow.
Yeah.
In a place, where they think we love this place. And I love to be in Bansko if I could be there every day, I will be there every day.
That's great. I mean, it's interesting because you contrast that with the people that you work with in a company, say in your hometown, right? So that's not necessarily a community by choice. That's the community you end up in because you've all elected to work at this company. Whereas this is much more of a community by choice, joined by common values, common expectations and desires for life. And that feels quite a bit more exciting and lively, I think.
Yeah. You choose it. They don't choose you. You choose to be in it, And
yeah.
I first time I was working with the festival was last year, and I learned so much because I have like an open mind when I go about things. And I was listening to the keynote speaker, and I become friend with so many people, young and old. So it's a life changer for me to be in that as well, the digital nomad clan, so to say.
If you came across somebody who was contemplating taking the leap and going and living somewhere else, and let's for argument's sake make this a person who plans to have a family, maybe has some roots, a job locally, something like that, what would you tell them would be the kind of ingredients for success? First of all, do you think this is right for everybody, or do you think it's not necessarily the right idea for everyone? And then what would you tell people in order to maximize their chances of making a real go at it?
Leap, jump. If you succeed. If you fail, then get up again and jump. Because, there is no security to go to the office in the city every day. There is no security in that. You will not become like a successful person, not even for yourself. That you have to build things by yourself. Trust yourself. Fail. Really, it hurts, but you learn something. You can't learn things to fail if you read it in a book. Yeah, that's bad. or see it in a movie. Yeah, that's bad, but you have to live it and try. I'm trying this now, and I wish I as I said, did it for a long time ago. Really,
Mm.
because then I will. Because now I'm in I am getting 65 this year, and
Hmm.
I feel like yeah, people are dying soon, and I don't want to leave this because it's funny.
Yeah.
I'm excited every day. My girlfriend say, "Why do you wake up with a smile on your face every day? Why are you so happy?"
Mm.
And I really feel that I'm so much happy now than I was when I had my apartment in Sweden or a job to go to every morning and things like that. But I feel happy.
That's amazing. Your wisdom is much welcomed around this topic, and I love the idea too of that certainty, that security, really living in your own mind. Because as we all know, there is so little security that comes with work these days, and people just can't trust in any organization to provide them with that anymore. And so, this idea that actually you need to go and find it within yourself is a really lovely sentiment. So, yeah. Well, Chris, how can people find out more about you and about the Digital Nomad Festival?
Bansko Digital Nomad Fest.
Mm-hmm.
You can look it up on just Google it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm doing, I have two web pages. One is goso.se, it's the new company, and then I have my blog that is Me and Bo Life. Uh,
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for being with us today. It was great to meet you.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay.
Really,
Brilliant. Thank you.
thank you.